Good morning, everybody. I am coming to you this morning, live streaming from the center of Lisbon in Portugal, from my car. Won't bore you the reasons why this was the best place for me to do it this morning. I wish I could be out in the street showing you the sounds and the sights of Lisbon, because it's an amazing place. My favorite European city, in fact, outside London. But no, for practical reasons, it's best that I do it from the car here. So let me get straight into the news today. There are the usual sort of stories about new prop tech that does black magic, that will magically give you clients you wouldn't otherwise have got, which I'm sorry is just rubbish. Lots of claims about artificial intelligence being used. Well, artificial intelligence hasn't actually been solved and doesn't fully properly exist yet. So be very cautious of anyone claiming that their product uses artificial intelligence or AI. It's almost always an overblown exaggeration. And there's another agent. I mean, every day in the news there are stories of new branches open, new agencies starting up, and some chap from Fine & Country has gone on to say, after 4 years in the industry, saying that the whole industry is rubbish, and he's upset people. Well, the story in property industry has upset people because it sounds like there's a new guy saying everyone is crap at their jobs. But the story I wanted to discuss with you today is the story I found in Property Industry Eye about On the Market. So there is a vote by On the Market asking its shareholders to vote on something called a capital reduction. And before we discuss it in any more detail, I want to just read you the definition of a capital reduction. So a capital reduction is the process of decreasing a company's shareholder equity through share cancellations and share repurchases, also known as share buybacks. It's done for numerous reasons. There's a long explanation, but this is the one I wanted to read. The act of capital reduction may also be enacted in response to a decline in a company's operating profits or a revenue loss that cannot be recovered from a company's expected future earnings. In some capital reductions, shareholders will receive a cash payment for shares cancelled, but in most other situations, there is minimal impact on shareholders. And I had a quick check of the OTM share price this morning, and it's down 34% year to date, down from £130 down to £84. And in the press release, it talks about them going from strength to strength, blah, 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 as you expect most public companies to say. But in reality, I'm not sure that's the case. A criticism of them, okay, because I think actually they've done well to survive given the catastrophic nature of OTM's origination, how it began. I don't know how many of you know the story, but it was you had to sign up. If you sign up to On the Market, and the whole idea was to try to weaken Rightmove, and it was a horrible own goal. It did exactly the opposite. It only weakened Zoopla, and it's just really, it has a lot of supporters, and I see why it does. It's 60% owned by agents, but this is the point I wanted to make. Being owned by agents doesn't automatically make it a good thing. Yes, it's better if there is a portal making profits from agents, if that's going back to some agents, but it's only ever quite a small number of agents. And I think it's a little bit of a red herring. Who owns a portal definitely informs the direction the portal takes, but as a 60% agent owned portal, it hasn't really helped On the Market provide any real point of difference to its actual customers, who are the public, okay, because without the public there's no portal. And I think this highlights a really big problem that agents have with portals. They think that portals exist for agents, and that is wrong. Portals exist for movers first and foremost, and secondarily for agents. And this is where agents get it wrong. Every portal must focus on providing the consumer something new or different or better than other websites in their property search. And if you don't get that right, everything else is a struggle. I think, there's a reason that Rightmove is still where it is, because Rightmove has always put consumers, well, it's actually always put its shareholders first, but then consumers and then agents are very much the third place. Now, agents don't like that because the prices are off the scale, but what you can't argue with is that they are actually delivering more than any other site is delivering. They're delivering what the consumer wants. So where am I going with this? On the market is doing a good job of being a credible third place player. But what does that mean for the future? Does it mean they're going to be a contender? Does it mean they have any chance of weakening the stranglehold that Rightmove has? I don't know. And if not, then what's the point? Is it just to keep a business surviving for the sake of surviving for its shareholders' investment? Because that's what it looks like, and that's what the share price and their actions would suggest. And what I'm trying to get everyone to understand is that I think, as a whole, the estate agency industry is completely inward looking in itself, for its own businesses and for its suppliers. It only worries about what benefits agents, what benefits agents, what benefits agents. That's the only discussion you ever see in the news. There's never any discussion about what would actually bring new benefits to consumers. And until that changes, the portals are going to continue to hold agents by the throat when it comes to pricing. All right. So that's quite a long ramble on that. I'll move on to my tip of the day. Kind of going on from portals, where portals are taking huge amounts of money from a lot of agents, and agents are struggling financially as a result. This is a long-term message I have to agents, which is until you can be sufficiently better than your competitors to consistently get a higher fee, you're always going to be struggling. It's always going to be a struggle. You're never going to get out of whatever rut you might feel that you're in if you are still having to cut your legs off on fees all the time. Okay. I have been working with agents long enough to meet enough agents who consistently get higher fees than other agents do. And the only reason that they do that is because they have built a long-term reputation for delivering consistently better than the others. Not even necessarily outstandingly good, but it comes down to this. If you are busy enough with instructions and you aren't as desperate for instructions as other agents, then you won't need to drop your fee. You can pick and choose. Now, that sounds like a luxury position to be in, and of course it is. But unless you're in that position where your reputation means you're so good that you're consistently busy, you're always going to struggle to justify why you should get a higher fee than your competitors. Now, the problem is that a lot of agents with very comprehensive marketing campaigns create the impression that they're busy because they're better, but they're not. They're just busy because they spend more on marketing. Their performance and results doesn't necessarily meet the expectations of their branding. And the problem for the customers is this, that most customers, and it's more than 50%, sign up with one of these high profile brands, assuming that they're better because they're busier, and then end up having a worse than average experience. That's the problem that I'm going to be trying to solve. I have rambled on a lot today. Guys, I hope that was interesting. It felt like a boring but important one today. Please give me feedback. I'd love to know your thoughts on what I'm talking about. I think we need to change the conversation around portals because it's been the same conversation for 20 years. And I wish you a very happy day. There you can see the streets of Lisbon through the roof of the car here. Not a particularly inspiring view this morning. Slightly better that way. But anyway, wherever you are, I hope you have a fantastic day. Hope the sun is shining for you. It is here in Portugal. And I will see you tomorrow from hopefully a slightly better location. Bye-bye.